I suffer every time I'm in Clubhouse trying to type people things like, wait a minute. Loop around here. All right, I think we got this. Good morning, everybody. It's Shannon and I. We're Brew and Activate. We are here at NEARFest, guys. Hopefully everybody sees us. We're doing good audio-wise. We're just, flying by the seat of our pants here this morning. So give us.
They can probably see us. Hopefully they can hear us.
Can
That's the important part.
Exactly. If you can hear us, give us a 1 in the chat there. Let us know you hear us, and the audio is good there. Because heck, we're like I said, flying by the seat of our pants. We're just, it's 10 o'clock here. We're barely on our first cup of coffee.
I haven't even brewed yet.
So there you go. So yeah, no dunks for her. She couldn't find one here in in New Boston on the way. So bummer on that. But yeah, good morning, folks. I see Matt there.
Hi, Matt. He can hear us.
That way. We're here hanging out at the Reliance Antenna booth this morning. Matt graciously said, hey, come by, hang out with us. So yeah, heck, we're gonna run the Brew and Activate here today. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a camera, as you can tell, just on the event. For your viewing pleasure, see what's going on here. The traffic is a little light, but I'm sure you start to see more people come through. And we will, continue on here this morning. So a lot going on. But yeah, you got here, Shannon.
I did. I made it with 3 minutes to spare. So if I had stopped at Dunks, I would have been late.
Yeah, which would have been totally fine because, in essence, fuddling around with all this stream. No
I'm sure I'll find someone selling coffee out there.
Hopefully, it might not be Dunkin's, but it'll be good enough. All right, well, as you know, welcome to Brew and Activate. This is our new time slot. Thank you guys, everybody, for throwing in, into the poll there and letting us know what's going on. We're happy to make adjustments in our schedule, but, I'm glad you guys are all hanging out with us. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff. So as the thumbnail has alluded, we're going to be talking about some of our bucket lists, but we're going to get into that in a little bit. But as always, maybe this is your first time hanging out in the live stream with us, and so welcome. And I'm just following through my notes here, so just kind of keep on track. Otherwise, Shannon can attest, I just talk and talk and talk and talk. So yeah, kick me if I don't shut up. But I'm Eric, call sign N1JUR, and obviously I'm with Shannon.
Hi, I'm Shannon, KC1OHT or 2 Echo Zero Oscar Hotel Tango if you're across the pond.
Yep, and if you are here at NEARFest, if you're one of the few, make sure you hit her up for stickers. She's got some really freaking good ones. Those are definitely a must and are really, really cool. I love the old style, military kind of looking, tough girl stickers, which are definitely awesome stuff. So yeah, hit her up for stickers.
Here they are. I had to dig in my bag. I wasn't even ready yet. There's the stickers, guys. Come and get them while they last.
Yeah, and if you want her to say hello or whatever, send you one. Hit her up on email. You know how to get a hold of her on QRZ or on YouTube. So yeah. All right. So let's kind of keep plowing through here. Well, if you've never been to this, or if this is your first time visiting us here on the channel, again, this is Brew and Activate, and we are all about POTA. So every week we usually get together, we talk about ham radio, but we talk more in the POTA style. We love to talk about POTA. We talk everything, and anything about POTA. And so every week we're going to have a topic. We're going to talk about something. So if you've got something that's been maybe sticking in the back of your head, you're trying to get answers to, you can't find anything on any of the forums, well, hit us up here on the channel, and we'll be glad to do a little sleuthing, do a little digging, and dive in a little bit more with the thing we call POTA. So anyway.
I did 2 POTAs this week.
Oh. That's beginning to be like, any guys ever see that Kmart commercial? I just shipped my pants. I did 2 POTAs this week. just the only thing that pops in my head. I don't know why. It's potty talk. All right. Well, so as we always like to dive into, we're going to do our POTA minute here. And so excuse my amateur, where we go here. This is the one I want. Come on. We're going to kick off the POTA minute here. I can put the audio on so you guys actually hear it. All right. All right, well, that is the rough cut of POTA Minute. It's usually better transitions,
Wow.
I promise. So this is the POTA Minute. Like I said, we love to be able to talk about something that, either I've come across in the interwebs or I've heard in the POTA community. And so this POTA Minute for this week is basically about POTA meetups. I was talking to a few people in our club, and they were talking about, hey, when, what are we going to do for Support Your Parks weekend, that type of stuff. Well, I felt like we needed to kind of encourage more people in the community, because I saw a lot on some of the Facebook groups and even in the, the POTA channels on POTA Discord. There's just not enough POTA meetups. I feel like we need to have more people start putting together those opportunities for all of us to be able to just get together, to be able to show new hams, maybe older hams that may have never heard about POTA, because there are a few out there. That's an obvious point to note, that I bump into a lot of people in my club that are just like, hey, I just started to hear about POTA. I'm like, it's been around for quite a while. I don't know about you. It's it's one of those things you just like, you get surprised or thrown off. So yeah. Start to think about, if you've got a couple of guys that you do POTA with, or gals, and you all get together and you're already doing it, well then, kind of broaden your base. Make it a little bit bigger and throw it out to some clubs, throw it out to some other hams in the local area, and just schedule a meetup. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just a bunch of folks getting together and playing POTA. Shannon does, you did one just recently. It was sort of a recent one with your club, but it wasn't, what was it, like a couple of weeks ago or something like that? That wasn't a POTA though. That was just a special event, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we did a special event at Hammond Castle. It was actually a test event to try and get ready for a bigger event that we want to do next year. That it's not a Parks on the Air, it's a Castles on the Air. So be looking out for that.
Okay.
But we all love field day, right? And every day can be field day when you go out in the field and activate a POTA park. So. I did 2 POTAs recently, one on Tuesday and one on last Thursday with N1OG Paul, the Grouch from New Hampshire.
Yeah,
so
around, yeah.
Be looking for those videos to drop probably in the next couple weeks. Then I did a tiny POTA by myself on Thursday, but the band conditions were pretty rough.
I know. Oh man, I felt for a while that Mother Nature came by and took a lot of that away from us, very quickly, and I felt sad, but at the same time I said, you know what, I'm just going to go out and activate no matter what. I don't care what the conditions are. So, very cool. So, with that's basically my charge to you guys. If you aren't already doing it, find a way to get out there, attract more people, bring folks in. Get them involved in Parks on the Air, because I know there's a lot of HOA rules and stuff in Congress that we're trying to take care of in terms of getting attendance for those folks that live in HOAs. But for now, get out and enjoy. Do POTA. Get people more involved. Get them out doing portable operations. So, good with that. All right. Well, like we said, we are here at NEARFest. Shannon, is this your first time being here?
I went to NEARFest in spring of 2024 when it was in the old location.
Okay.
This is my first time in the new location.
All right. Okay. So how was your first 5-10 minutes? Because everyone complains about the parking or trying to find locations, and they sent you to east nowhere.
Yeah, I had to park in the miles away zone. That was probably my fault for getting here so late. Mm-hmm. A little bit of a walk to get over here, but that's okay. I need the exercise, right?
Yeah, we all do, sort of. Around here, just if you've never been in New England, never been to any Hamfest in New England, we are a rare breed. There's some very uniqueness to New England Hamfest that I've learned in being a ham for 30 plus years. I don't know if you've seen kind of the same, or that difference change, and have you been to Hamfest outside of New England at all?
Yeah, I went to Dayton Hamvention.
Oh, so then, yeah, you've seen how they do it their style for sure. That is very different in comparison to our small, venues. Even Hamex is small around here. I mean, you went to Hamex too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's kind of I don't know. You kind of love to hate it. You wish it was bigger, but at the same time, you kind of enjoy the small quaintness and just being able to hang out. And it's all about meeting people you haven't met in 20 years. Sometimes at a Hamfest. So it's all good either way. But yeah, so with that, I'll be doing a live stream after, like around noontime here. So if you want to see what the swap meet looks like, tune into my channel. You can check that out. I'm sure Shannon will be hanging out with us, and you'll see Grouch and everybody else. Those are, aren't aware. I think Izzo's coming up. Smoke Signals RF. He'll be up here. Matt from Reliance Antenna will be strapped to his booth, but maybe we can find a substitute to, come, relieve him for a little while so he can come hang out. But with that, we're gonna, kind of dive into a topic that's been on my, list for a while, and it's what we're calling the bucket list. All of us have goals, for whatever reason, whether we're looking to improve our gear or we're looking to, paper chase or whatever be the case. We all kind of have something we shoot for when we're in POTA, and so I wanted to do kind of a simple, top 5 between Shannon and I, and I'm going to throw the challenge out to you guys. And so if you're not on our Discord already, you can head over to Live Free and Ham's Discord. The link is in the description below if you're not part of us. And head over to the Brew and Activate channel. I want folks that are part of that, and if you listen to the stream, you're definitely part of that. Post your top 5 goals before the end of the 2025 season that you want to reach in POTA. I'm looking for 2 reasons. One, I want to be able to encourage you. I want to keep that list going. I want to be able to get folks, at a place where, hey, I can keep pushing you a little further. You can start, getting better, as a ham radio operator. And 2, it's a great little challenge between, each of us. I've got a couple that I'm going to share. Shannon's got a few she's going to share. And so we're going to hopefully challenge each other, and maybe by the time the end of the year rolls in and we're into the January season and it's freezing cold around here, we can all look back and kind of have a quick recap and say, hey, how far did we get, and go from there. So I think it's a good way to kind of keep us motivated. So with that, we're going to kind of start out. I'm going to obviously give Shannon a little bit of the floor here because I talk too much sometimes, you all know, and I'm going to just kind of go through the chat here and post a few in the video feed here. But so you got to have a couple of goals before the end of the year, Shannon, that you want to reach. Anything kind of initially pops into mind? Because I know we sort of talked about this briefly, but we didn't really have anything laid out.
Yeah, I can't say that this is something I'm going to accomplish by the end of the year, but you never know, we might. But I realized that I have not activated all states in one land.
What?
So, I'm actually pretty close.
Okay.
I have Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. So I need to get Rhode Island and Vermont. Vermont's a little bit of a trek, so that's the one that I'm like,
okay,
that might be.
And with Vermont, just being a person who has Vermont turned green, you might want to do it sooner than later because they actually lock their parks closed. So like you will not be able to, per the POTA rules, and again, I won't fault you for it if you pull up to the gate and then activate from in front of the gate, but it's very disappointing in Vermont because a lot of the great locations, are really, not open once the end of the park season kind of rolls through and closes out. So, more power to you. Hopefully it gets there. But Vermont is obviously a tough state for a lot of us, for sure. So, I'll throw a couple in here. There's a few in here. Matt was saying he wants to do a 5-park road. That is a very admirable goal.
With a wire antenna.
Which is going to be one of those things that's going to take a little while to set up and tear down. Todd and I did a 7-park road, and that alone was literally like running a mini marathon. I don't know how. I know Shannon K1LY is in there with Shane. They did a 10-park road, I think was their latest one, which I'm like, now that I look back at it, I'm like, I'm going to have to train just for the the whole process. So it's definitely a goal there. So I think if I throw in a few here, and I'm just going to kind of go through my list. I've got, obviously, as those that might listen to Live Free Ham know, that Todd and I have been saying over and over again, we got to get our kilo. We got to get our kilo. Well, we're finally getting a little closer. I'm hoping Todd finds a little bit more time in his schedule. The bands help him get to his point, but we're going to be doing our kilo there. We're going to live stream that. So that's been a 2-year coming kind of goal, which I laugh at it now because I literally got my first kilo at a park that was 5 minutes down the street in a couple of months. I know you got I know you have a kilo. It'd be silly not to.
I have a kilo at 2445, which is 3 miles from my house.
So yeah, no problem there, no excuse whatsoever. So that's always good. Yeah, I think it'll be a first for Todd because Todd, has been super busy with his baseball life and whatnot. So I think it'll be a motivator for him to want to, continue to do more in POTA. So I'm looking to get my second kilo. But that'll be the real trail. So keep that coming, in your back of your computer, as they say, because we'll never know. Hopefully before we even see snow, we'll actually get that done because I am not activating in the wintertime outside. Sorry. You aren't going to see me live streaming outdoors.
Me neither.
That's actually a good topic. We should, how do we deal with winter, activations, and what does our car setups look like and stuff like that? Because it's totally different in terms of how we activate outdoors. It's almost like, we spread out versus, we confine and compact our goals.
Huddle together for body heat warmth.
yeah, exactly right. Yes, and wearing long underwear and hats and whole 9 yards. So. Cool. All right. So you got another one you want to throw in there?
Yeah, maybe not a specific POTA goal, but a radio goal is to get my UK full license.
Oh, okay.
By the end of the year, hopefully.
Now, what's that actually curious? What's that look like for you? Like, is it the testing harder over in the UK than it is here?
Way harder.
Oh, okay.
They do not publish their question pool. There is no memorizing of correct answers there. You actually have to learn the content. So a lot more electrical engineering. They pretty much expect you to be able to build your own radio.
Wow. And okay, so the question is, for all of the extra effort, what do you get out of it?
Well, you get what's called a HAREC, a Harmonized Amateur Radio Exam Certificate, which means that you can get a full ham radio license at any country that is signatory to HAREC as if you had passed their full exam. Okay, so
there's now the licenses, are they based off of power output total, or is it just like band, like how we do with our band?
For the most part, it's based on power.
Okay.
So the lowest class foundation, they can transmit up to 25 watts on most all bands except for 60 meters. Intermediate, they can transmit up to 100 watts on all bands, pretty much except for, again, 60 meters. And then once you're full, you can transmit at, I think, either 1,000 watts or 1.5 kilowatts, just like we can. And then they also get use of 60 meters at that point as well.
So where are you in your license class?
I'm an intermediate in the UK.
Okay, so that, again, what was that power level for you?
100 watts.
Okay, all right. So say, for a moment there, while you were telling me those numbers, I was thinking you were at the lower class, and I was like, wow, you just did an FTA contact between your UK and US license at 25 watts. I'm like, that's impressive. But okay, at 100 watts, that's enough to sorely get across the pond there a little bit with a little help with FTA and low weak signals, but that's still awesome either way. That's impressive, being able to work yourself. It's almost like the snake eating itself kind of circular theory. So all good there. Well, awesome on the license stuff. That's really cool. And so with that, come on and say hi, Parker. Might as well.
Hey, it's Parker on the air.
Yeah, you're
being dragged in.
This is Parker, guys. Go ahead and give him your call sign. Parker was at the 24-hour POTA with us. It was a big help, keeping us, making contacts, even though we won't talk about Loggate. Say hello through your contact.
Hey, KC1YAE, name here is Parker.
All right, cool. Is your dad around here too?
He went back up to the truck.
Ah, awesome, cool. All right, well, yeah. Hey, hang out and feel free to say hello to Matt and stuff. And
I already did. That's our stuff right there.
Oh, geez, you've already picked up stuff. My gosh, see, that's what happens. When you come to HamFest, if you don't go, you don't leave empty-handed. Although I plan on today. That's my main goal. I don't plan on buying anything. So very cool. All right, well, cool, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, well, let's kind of go through the chat here. Yeah, Matt is making a lot of sales, Bob. He, definitely has no problem selling his antennas. I think it has to do with, all of us ham radio operators going, yeah, these are the best antennas in the world because we're not lying. We, you actually did an activation with Paul, and I assume he was running his Reliance, right?
Yeah, 2 activations with Paul. He used his Reliance antenna, so I think he may have convinced me I might have to buy one today. So,
well, if she plays her cards right, then she might be able to get it for free. Because Matt, being a sponsor of the channel here, and one of our premier vendors that we partner with, he definitely gives us a plethora of antennas, and I use them a lot to be able to just give folks an opportunity that normally are kind of on the fence. And every time, 100%, always, I hand them the antenna, I tell them what they need to do, they get out and they use it, and they're like, this is a freaking phenomenal antenna, and they're just they get hooked. So I'm sort of like a dealer in weird sort of way, just on antennas,
an antenna dealer.
So it brings a warmness to my heart because I'm obviously not causing any more damage. I'm actually improving people's quality of ham radio life, I guess is what I'll say. So yes, he is doing a great job there. Matt, yes, he's there obviously here in the chat too. Heated blanket, yes. I would say I don't know if I'd want to do 12 volts in the truck to see if it would affect my antenna. Because in my vehicle, if I'm running the car, I get a lot of alternator or fuel pump noise, so I try not to. But your mileage may vary, but you definitely stay warm with a 12-volt blanket, no doubt in my mind. All right, well, let's. What else you got? You got another one you want to throw in there, Shannon?
Well, again, I don't know if I'm going to make this by the end of the year, but at least start it before the end of the year. But learning CW.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. That's so far on my bucket list, so far down the list that I'm not quite ready yet. I felt I started that, but how is the journey so far?
So, it started off strong. I sort of, fell off the bandwagon a little bit. And, what happens is once you fall off the bandwagon, then it's like kind of a little hard to get back on. But right across the way from here is the Long Island CW Club booth. Yep. I'm actually a lifetime member of LICW. They have this great program called the Beginner's Carousel that I highly recommend. You can jump on it at any point in time. And they teach you, like 3 letters, and all week the class is all the same. So they have a class pretty much every day. They learn the same letter every day of the week, and then the next week they move on to another set of 3 letters.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Until they get through the whole alphabet. So you never have an excuse of saying, well, I missed the class last week. Now I gotta wait.
I definitely agree to that. I have not been a Long Island CW member yet. I will probably take the plunge.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, that's basically what happens in ham radio. We all know that feeling. It's like, you just got to try this, and then you go away, and then they throw more at you, and eventually you just kind of cave. So I probably will. I did sell my iambic here, but I didn't sell it. I gave it away to another ham to, learn or actually have CW conversations with his nephew. His small little 6-year-old nephew his nephew? Whatever the relationship was, he was just learning CW on the internet. So he's just playing around Morse code, and he was really, really proficient at it. And so he's like, oh, I'd really love to be able to have like a conversation with him. So I gave him 2 V bands, and they do it over the internet now. And now they just do CW conversations back and forth. And it's a great little thing. So I applaud you. Here, I'm just going to give you the show. At this point, I only do sideband, sadly, a little bit of FT8. So, I'm this big on the scale of ham radio operator prowess. So,
and you're this big
right.
in the scale of real life, too. This is not an optical illusion.
No, exactly right. Very much so. So, objects in mirror do not appear larger. It's definitely the actual size. So, I'm good. All right. So, I'll throw one in here. I didn't realize this when I was kind of researching and trying to figure out what I wanted to add to my bucket list, but I'm not that far away from finishing, at least trying to get my first N1CC. Have you gotten your N1CC yet? Okay. So those that might not know what N1CC is, it's pretty much 10 bands. You have 10 bands, either at one park. I can't remember exactly the full criteria, but I know Reed's Ferry, which is the one I ended up getting my kilo on, which is also 5 minutes down the street. I'm like 2 bands short of actually getting my N1CC. So I am totally, going to hopefully be able to tackle that in the next 2 months before, the end of the year. So I think, there we go. We've got a few of the 24-hour POTA folks. There goes Chris walking along.
Recognize that 24-hour POTA shirt right away.
It's a guarantee. And so, I'm hoping with getting my N1CC that I'll be able to add to the paper awards there, and looking forward to trying that out, because it's definitely a tough one. I didn't realize how tough it would be if you focus solely on just doing that. But it definitely requires a lot of effort.
Well, I wanted you guys to get N1CC at Great Brook Farm.
Right, that would have been nice. That would have definitely been nice, but we'll have to try a little harder there. All right, so what else you got? You got one more on your list?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me rack my brain.
Okay, well, I'll throw in while you're racking your brain. So I've got one that I'm gonna try to do. Paul kind of made a allude to this on one of our podcasts, which kind of it made me think like, oh yeah, this is a perfect idea. So he was trying to do 1 POTA a month minimum for 12 months straight for the full year. And he was sharing with us on the episode that he ended up falling short a couple of months, where 1 or 2 months he didn't get a chance to do it. But at this point, it kind of got me thinking, like, yeah, I like that idea, being able to do at least minimum 1 POTA a month, and I'm going to throw with the caveat in that maybe doing it at a different park every time, because that for me is too easy. Because being in New Hampshire, we have a lot of parks within half an hour from me, and I've done all of them already. So, and you're the same. I mean, you struggle a little harder because where you are, you have what, like 3 parks total?
Yeah,
something like that.
A little bit of a park desert around me,
You
but
gotta go, yeah. So that's kind of my goal. So I'm going to try to shoot for at least a couple of parks in the next 2 months, and then see you later, Chris. We'll catch you a bit. And so we'll throw that in the ring there. Did you come up with one yet?
Yeah, I like your idea of, in the POTA Minute, introducing a new person to POTA. So maybe that'll be one of my POTA goals, is introducing someone new to POTA.
Okay, very cool. That is a very good, admirable goal for sure. And, it must be, it's almost too easy, I think, of a goal, because that's really low-hanging fruit for you and I, because we're like, hey, I'm going to always talk about POTA. I'm always going to get you involved. So it shouldn't be too hard to be able to bring more into the ranks. Too bad we can't, come up with a statistical number of how many we've already brought into the fold next day. So, very cool. All right, let's see what.
Well, I know I brought Shannon, K1LY into the fold, because she said the first POTA she ever did was my International Women's Day YL POTA party back in March.
Very cool. Wow, that is impressive.
And now look at what a POTA nut she is.
Oh my gosh, she's just like full-time POTA nut. I mean, she very much, when we got introduced to her, she was like, I'm like, I've worked you like 4 times in my log, and I didn't even know I've worked her, kind of thing. And I'm like, how long have you been doing POTA? Oh, yeah, less than 6 months. I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. So yeah, she's pretty impressive. And Shane, you definitely have a hot, activator there. So keep her going, and getting out in the air. So cool. All right. So any of you guys got any of your, POTA goals, bucket list items? Throw them in the chat. And definitely we'll share them on the stream here. So I have got a couple other, 2 more here to round out our top 5. So this one's going to be a little, I wouldn't say tougher for me. It's just because I defer to, running QR all the time. I want to start to do a lot more QRP. I know, I say, better to have 100 watts than to have no watts. So I am going to set the goal, and I'm hoping you guys keep me in check, is that I want to do at least 3 QRP activations, from now until the end of the year. So that's basically the next 2 months. So I'm hoping I can at least haul them out there, and they all have to be, I'm going to quote them in the sense that I want them to be in full activations. They can't be failed activations. So that means I have to bust my butt a little harder. I have to actually work at trying to make contact, especially when the bands are tough. And we know that so far the solar cycle has been up and down, and so yeah, that's kind of my goal for the end of the year. So 3 QRPs. So yeah, I'm gonna throw these all in the chat. And so just to reiterate, guys, if you missed it and you were in the didn't catch the beginning of the stream, I'm gonna encourage to challenge all of you guys. So if you've got a bunch of goals that you want to reach, and again, they don't all have to be activation based or specifically around POTA, but can be POTA adjacent. Like Shannon said, she wanted to be able to bring a few new members into the POTA fold. Throw them in the Discord, throw them in our Brew and Activate channel. We'll share them with one another, and we'll keep each other in check and be able to encourage one another and just continue to do some really cool things, and it'll help us all be better operators and just have more fun in POTA. So.
Now, what does QRP mean to you, Eric?
20 watts or less.
20 watts or less.
Right.
Okay.
Why? Do you have a better definition?
Well, some people say that it has to be 10 watts on sideband. Some people say like 5 watts on sideband. So, I'm curious on what people classify QRP for sideband is.
Yeah, Shannon, that's actually well worth a referral program. So for every 5 people you refer to POTA, you get a sticker, and we add stars to your name in our Discord there. That'd be kind of cool. So I'm going to scroll back here a little bit, and hopefully I can get back here in the chat there. Walt. Okay, so Walt, yeah, you threw in there. He's going to work all New England states and then start heading down the coast. That is a pretty cool, goal there. That is definitely a big one. Are you working one park? You have like a set number of parks per state, or are you just doing one per each state to kind of turn them green? Definitely let us know in the chat there. So, all right, so I did QRP. You got another goal?
Maybe if I can actually get worked all states on POTA, that would be a good one.
Wow.
I don't even have worked all states on QRZ yet. I think I have 4 unconfirmed contacts with New Mexico now, guys. If you are a POTA activator in New Mexico, please upload your logs to QRZ or LOTW.
All right, Rabbit Ham says his POTA goal is to finish his man pack. Actually, that's a good idea. Like that, we didn't touch upon it, although I do have a couple of, we'll say, adjacent goals that are ham or say POTA specific, but we'll get into those in a bit. But yeah, that's actually definitely a good goal to hit for, and always working to refine your bag. Like, I don't know about you, but I know my POTA bags never really get finished. Like, you the same way?
I mean, I have a POTA wagon, so.
That I can't get to. This is where I draw that line. That wagon part for me is too much.
But, a POTA bag, a man pack, if you will,
pack too, doesn't matter.
A person pack.
That'd be much better.
Hand
sure.
pack. That's a great goal. I have a G90, so that's pretty small, compact, easy to fit into that bag. I have a couple 12 amp hour batteries, so that'll keep the G90 running for a good long time.
Okay, good deal. All right, well, that makes sense. So I think one of that I'll throw in that kind of goes along with what Rabbit Ham was saying was I've got a goal, what I say, changing my marketing strategy. And what I mean by that is that all of us, I don't know, maybe you have materials that you carry around in your bag for when, you bump into someone who's like, what are you doing? The proverbial question besides answering, I talk to aliens.
What do you guys have that I have to have?
Sorry, what's that? We're live streaming right now. So it's live streaming gear.
Live stream?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So the plan for me is to change some of my marketing up. And
What's
so
that?
we're on live stream right now.
Oh, okay, good.
So,
Anybody see me out there?
actually, if you're over that way, you check out my channel, N1JUR, and we're on live stream there.
Where are you
from? New Hampshire. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Cool. Nice to meet you. So marketing. One of the things I used to carry around with me was the POTA flyer. I don't know, do you have that?
No, I do need to get that, though.
Okay.
I always have my cards.
I do, and so what I did was for our club, we specifically did a small little business card, and we felt like a lot of times I ended up like my POTA flyers got trashed all the time. They were in a bag, they were always getting torn up or ruined or whatever, and so I wanted something that was a little bit more portable. And I probably have shared this on some other things, and I don't know if I have one in my current bag, but basically it's a 3x5 card with a little QR code on it, and it basically sends them off to a website and explains POTA, explains ham radio, and kind of gives them a a no frills simple explanation. And a lot of times, when I activate, I find that a lot of people are like, they stop you right in the middle of the activation, and you got a pileup going on. And I know how that's a challenge for all of us, is that we sit there and go, okay, I have to stop the pileup to answer the question, because you don't want to be rude. You obviously want to invite them into ham radio and you let them know that we're not a whole bunch of snobby people, and we actually enjoy having more folks in the hobby. And so I'll usually give them the card, do a little quick explanation, and I find a lot of times, because we track that QR code to see how many people hit the webpage, and it's pretty active, which is really cool to see that their folks are doing a little bit of research. So that's kind of my goal, is to refine some of my marketing, especially for my channel. I do a bang up job. I usually have stickers, but a lot of times I don't even have like a card that I can give to somebody, like, he's like Mike N2MK. When I first met him, the first thing he did was hand me a card. It was like, here's my website and YouTube stuff and everything. It's like, oh, I really have to do this. And it's now 4 years later and I still haven't done it. So that's one of my goals there for that. Any things you want to throw in on that, or you got?
No, unfortunately, I just had a new batch of eyeball QSO cards printed, and I sent them to the printer before I got started with Brew and Activate, so I don't have anything on there about YouTube or Brew and Activate,
okay.
But that's okay. It has my name and my call sign on there. If people search my call sign, they'll find my YouTube channel anyway.
Yep.
But I mean, a lot of times, you meet people out on POTA. That's sort of the point of POTA, right, is to make amateur radio more visible. Not only do people have no idea what POTA is, they don't even really know what amateur radio is. So, you kind of explaining that to them. And Paul and I ran into that a little bit when we were at the Robert Frost Farm activation that we did last week. Because, of course, that's a little bit more of a visible place where a lot of visitors come.
Right.
And, a couple guys walked by with dogs. They were like, hey, what are you doing over there? If we had a card, we could have given them a card.
It definitely would have been much easier for, in the long haul. But even then, it helps you kind of, I think, refine, your delivery a little bit better too as well, because you kind of, you can prepare for some of the, typical questions you usually get from, non-hams or non-radio folk who are, inquiring about it. So it's all a good process, and definitely something that we all need in our bags for sure. All right. Let me see. You got another one in there? I've got two more. See, I kind of prepared a little bit.
I'm not I don't know, I guess I'm not a goal setter person. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants.
That's totally fine. That's actually, a decent goal, to fly by the seat of your pants, It's whatever, let the POTA wind take you, as they kind of say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well then, I won't put her on the spot. I'll add my two in here, and we'll kind of wrap things up here later. So we're getting close to the top of the hour here, and want to make sure, we keep to the time here, because we got a lot of stuff going on today. This is not the only time you're going to see me. I'm going to be live streaming the fairgrounds and the swap meet area. So tune in around noontime on my channel. Check us out that. And then, heck, if you can't get enough of that, then we're going to be doing live streaming at 7. Hopefully, I don't know, will you be around, or are you going to head back home?
7's kind of late.
Okay. So
it took me an hour and 40 minutes to get up here.
That's a little bit of a haul. So although Shannon won't be able to be with us, she'll probably be in spirit on the chat for sure. But yeah, we're going to be live streaming up at the Grouch Command Center.
Maybe I can join from home.
You could. Yeah, totally. Let me know, and we'll be able to bring you in. We'll see how that one goes. Why not? Because, we like to add more insult to injury when it comes to technical problems. So yeah, we'll be doing a live stream on Live Free and Ham's channel, so go check that out too as well, and we'd love to have you guys on the chat. So yeah, my two last goals here are that around activating parks primarily. This one is, I don't do enough at-nos. I don't know about you. And not at-nos in the sense that nobody's activated, but at-nos to me. And so I tend to, and Shannon, you might be the same way, is you go to just a park you're comfortable with, because you just know where to set up, you know how to get set up, and you're off, and you're more about playing the radio side of things. I don't do enough of finding parks outside of my, we'll say, area, and going out to activate those and putting my call sign on those. So I'm hoping that from now and even into the 2026 goal is that I do a lot more at-nos and start activating, because I think what New Hampshire alone has 150 or so parks, and I probably have activated maybe 10 of them, 12 of them, probably not a whole lot. And so, yeah, I want to definitely do a lot more of that and get that on my to-do list for next year to keep me focused on doing more POTA. And then the last one is a lot like what Rabbit Ham was saying about his POTA setup and getting the bags. I think for me, my winter setup is pretty rock solid. I've got HF in the truck, it's permanent. I've got an ATAS, I've got the bumper mount. If those that haven't seen that setup and you're interested in it, go check out the videos on my channel. I did a whole series on those, and those will outline all of the cool things. So I've got mast connectivity and multiple options. So if I so allude to get out of the truck in the wintertime, I can head over and just plug into my bumper and set up a wire antenna or whatever be the case. So I've got options. But yeah, I definitely need to improve and test out my POTA kits more. My QRP bag that I have for the beach bag, I failed 3 times activation-wise with that, and I still haven't figured out how to get it tuned enough that I can easily get a wire antenna set up, or I can get a mast set up at the beach. The beach is a tough thing to get, kind of configured. And have it not be so conspicuous that you're annoying all of the other people around you who are actually there to actually, be with family or sunbathe. So, yeah, I've got to, come up with better ways to fine-tune that a little bit. So those are definitely going to be evolving, and hopefully I'll share those with you on the channel if you're interested in stuff like that, and always, looking to improve, as they say. So, yeah, those are my last 2 there. And so, yeah, with that, let's see if anybody else has got any more in the chat here. Yep, definitely good to see you guys all in there. So, okay, so Rabbit Ham, just to follow up, you were doing Delaware and more Mid-Atlantic. Good on that one. And so good to see Ted there in the chat, definitely. And all right, cool. Yeah, so it's a lot of folks. And Bob, now that I see you on the chat and I appreciate you hanging out, we need to check in, dude. How's the technician studying going? I know we were setting the goal originally, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but I say, it's almost the end of the year, dude. Love to be able to make contact with you. It was funny, we were talking on Lift Free and Ham about maybe having, have you want to set up an all-star node so you can talk back into the Lift Free and Ham hub and all the other stuff. So yeah, keep us updated on the technician studying, because we all want to see you obviously reach to get your license. And I'm curious to see what call sign you get too. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, Ted just said he did a beach activation on Sunday using a 22-foot mast and a linked dipole.
Wow.
So yeah, trying to keep your stakes in the sand. How did you do that, Ted?
Yeah, let us know. That definitely is one of those things that is a challenge for sure.
I was thinking maybe one of those things that you screw down into the sand and you stick your beach umbrella in it.
I can first-hand experience say no, they don't do a great job. Not with not even with a 6-meter mast. Once you get that thing up there and the wind's whipping back and forth, yeah, it doesn't. You have to get really deep at that point. I think when I had it, I buried it so deep in the sand. I spent more time digging the hole than I did putting the antenna up. So
more time setting up than activating.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my wife to be able to think about, taking her kite more to the beach, because I have had a desire for a while to want to do a kite antenna. I've seen a few YouTubers do it, and it's possible. And it would be really cool to do at the beach. I could, make it look very inconspicuous, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, she's not game for that quite yet.
Yeah, that was actually when I first got licensed, living so close to the beach and being someone who likes to fly kites anyway. That was something that I thought about doing, and then I did see a few YouTubers have done it. And I guess I heard that's something that they did during World War II, was use kite antennas and wire antennas. So I think that would be something cool to try for sure.
Very cool. Hey, Mike, good to see you there in the chat. Thanks. I don't know where you were before you said you were back, but glad you're back. Let me see. Ted says he's got to be better prepared next time he does beach activation. Well, Ted, that's the nice part about POTA, is that you literally, or even just beach activation in general, you literally are going to keep evolving that over and over again. I know I struggle with that a lot of times, and I have a few failed activations to prove otherwise. So very good deal on that. Cool. All right. Well, with that, yeah, we've got a lot of live streaming today. So we all have to spend a little time keeping the streaming gear and all of this craziness that we have here. If you can only see what we see, because it attracts, I mean, obviously we have people walk by giving us that like, what are you doing, look? You know, and so, yeah, we're definitely, you know, bringing a few, you know, eyes this way, which is really cool. And we can pull that off the chat there. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this, you know, and we're back. You know, Brew and Activate is, for those that may not know, we're moved to our Friday morning time slot, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shannon and I are going to continue to, you know, kind of just have fun with this and, you know, continue to, you know, talk more about POTA and everything in between. So yeah, hopefully you guys can definitely join us and be part of all that fun activity for a Friday morning. It's a good way to kind of blow through your work day. You know, you don't have to worry about, you know, wondering when the clock is going to roll to 5 o'clock, because now, you know, you'll at least knock an hour off with us. So all good there.
Exactly. Have your coffee break.
Yes, or, you know, if you drink at work too, that works fine.
Wow.
Some people have those jobs. Yeah, I used to. So yeah, with that, we're going to kind of wrap up here, guys. And so thank you again for everybody being in the chat. I don't actually have how many people in the chat number-wise, but
12, I think.
Yeah, it looks like 12. So yeah, 12 people in the chat. It's awesome to have you guys all part of this. Again, you know, I am totally blessed. I'm happy to have Shannon as my sidekick here. She's way better than Frank. You know, I'm just saying that out front.
Wow.
You know, you know, because for a while, you know, Jason always gave Frank a hard time. I think he still does today. So you know, it's not much different. Not that, you know, Shannon's my sidekick. She, you know, she makes this show that much better and keeps me from babbling on. So I appreciate it 100%. And so yeah, whether you're activating or chasing, you know, the key is to always have fun, stay safe. And keep exploring and keep refining those kits. And hopefully, like I said, if you've got a bunch of POTA goals, head on over to the Discord, share those with us. We want to keep everybody in the loop, and we want to keep supporting one another. Let's make this a fun little you know, activity and a challenge for all of us. And so definitely head over to that. The link is down there in the show notes. And as always, you know, we're going to be live streaming. Like I said, I'll be around noon doing a walk around the swap meet. And then we'll be live streaming later this evening for Live Free and Ham. So hopefully we'll see you on both of those. And as always, thanks again for supporting the channel. And so Shannon, let them know how they can find you.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Shannon KC1OHT stroke 2 Echo 0 Oscar Hotel Tango. I'm also in the Live Free and Ham Discord. So come hang out with us on Discord. If you're in the One Land area, give a shout. Let's meet up for a group POTA.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great Discord. If you haven't been over there and you're is it a one call, or you have to be from the New England area?
Oh, are you talking about my Discord, Adventures in Wonderland?
Yes. Oh, I didn't know that was your Discord.
Well, I didn't create it.
Okay.
It's a joint venture between myself, Chris KC1ULS, and Adam Alpha 1 November. We're an autonomous collective.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I randomly one day get this invite to this Wonderland Discord. I'm like, this doesn't like, and then I realized that's a ham Discord for one, you know, the one call. So, so do you have to have? Is it just the one call, or you have to be from New England?
Well, I mean, we prefer if you have some ties to New England.
Okay.
I think we let a two-lander in there because his sister lives in Newton. So.
Okay.
You know, if you have ties, friends, family, if you come to One Land on business, if you're a ham radio operator, you're welcome to join Adventures in Wonderland.
So then Jim, W1TW from Coffee and Ham Radios, is outright not invited. Because he's not from New England. He has a one call because he couldn't get a 4 call or whatever he was for his area. So, you know, that's the caveat there. So, but, you know, yeah, if you ask nice Jim, you might get invited. So you never know. All right, well, with that, you know, we always want to make sure that you guys know that, you know, Matt from Reliance Antenna, who is here working feverishly, which you can't see. Actually, you can see. He's the guy with the very far end in the hat because, you know, he's from Pennsylvania and he's not used to the cold weather. I don't know why.
Isn't it cold in Pennsylvania?
It is. It's the same weather that we get most of the time. But yeah, he's running a buddy heater and, you know, a nice beanie cap there. So he's adjusting, but we thank him and thank Reliance Antenna for supporting our show, as well as Mad Dog Coil and Spool Antenna, all those guys. Definitely go check them out. Go show them some love. And you know, let them know that you heard about us on our channel. And as we always say, you know, we always gather here every Friday now, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, We're going to actually get Shannon wrapped in now that she's able to live stream to her channel. So she'll be live streaming soon for Brew and Activate. So yeah, check us out on Shannon's channel. Check us out on my channel. And with that, until next time, keep your radios on and the PT down and POTA on.
POTA on.
Now I gotta cue this up if I can do this right. Dang it! See, this is just amateur hour as inspired. I don't even have it. Dang it! All right. See, you get to see. Nope. Yep. Delete. There we go. We're gonna get it there. We're gonna get there. Ending roll. There we go.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. We'll catch you later. All right. What can we do too? All right. Did that finally roll? Not yet.
I think it's getting there.
Go. All right. There we go. Nice job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I didn't want to
You
take
get
one
to
when you were there.
You get to be the first